Wizzy Wizzy Wizards, and welcome back to the Pursuit of Happiness with me, Pigtail Girl, your friend and fellow traveller. I had to get on here and do a quick show on Bashar and Daryl Ank, because I just clicked on one of the videos that he made on another channel. I will put the link to the video so you can go and view it yourself. And he talks about the Mandela Effect. Now, anyone who watches my channel or who knows Starfire Tour's work or who listens to the Time Chronicles, the other podcast that I do with Starfire, will know that Starfire Tour, has fully explained the mechanisms of the Mandela Effect, how it works. She has proven time and time again that she knows what she's talking about. She's provided endless data and evidence to back up all of her claims, unlike a lot of other people. She spends her entire life dedicated really to proving all this stuff. And so I fully understand how the Mandela Effect works, or the time shift effect. Of course, Starfire Tour doesn't call it the Mandela Effect. That's something that came from popular culture. But this time shift effect is created by the core matrix, and the core matrix, the Akasha, is woven into our reality and is a mechanism. It's like a software on your computer. It's like it creates these time shifts. It's streaming all of time from within it. It's like the camera, that's streaming all reality. And there's lots of coexisting timelines, but it's in charge of editing the timeline, not us. Nothing I do right now is going to change the entire timeline. But Bashar, this all-knowing alien coming through Daryl Ank, someone well known to have a history of working within the sci-fi, I guess, Hollywood scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's his job, is actually he's obviously a creative and an actor, good actor, got to give it to him. And you do pay money to go and see his show. So he could argue that he's just an actor on stage doing a show, and that's why he sells tickets to it. But he claims that on this latest video, because of course he's just pulling that out of his ass, that the Mandela Effect is caused by everyone in the now changing their now. It all sounds very flowery, doesn't it? It all sounds all very like, buzzwords, the now. But where's his proof to back any of that up? Changing the now. Can anyone prove that I've changed the now? If I go like this with my hand, or I suddenly decide to go that way, how can anyone prove that I changed that action in the now? Maybe what I'm doing in the now, even when I change direction, is what I was always going to do in the now. So saying that you are changing the now is just ridiculous, because the now is we are always transforming and changing and taking steps and movements. And it has no bearing on the past. We don't change the past by changing the now. But that's what Bashar claimed. Bashar, through Daryl, claims that if I make a change in the now, who can quantify that somehow some film title in the past or some lines from Snow White are suddenly going to change globally for everyone. I mean, just have a think. I mean, so many people are so gullible with no discernment, and they hear some of his lovely flowery thoughts about being positive and manifestation. They get totally hooked into it because that's what they need to hear right now. But you can go and listen to a positive tarot reader tell you all the same stuff without telling you they're channeling an alien, give you that same positive feeling, but with real info, and to actually put disclaimers. This is for entertainment purposes only. Take it with a pinch of salt, rather than listening to someone claiming they're channeling an alien, which they're not. They're an actor doing a show, and then you actually believing it and giving that person money. So what you're doing is you're actually connecting to the vibration of deception. So part of a spiritual path is actually to see through deception, to learn discernment, which is coming from the intestines actually, and the enteric mind is a lot to do with your discernment. So when you're unable to discern that someone's bullshitting you and it's just an actor, that's not really going to ultimately take you on a good path. It's going to drain you, and it's going to keep you locked into being attracted to the frequency of deception, because deception is a frequency, and you have to, part of growing up is being able to see through deception and gain some sort of clarity, and to be able to decipher truth. And, you know, if anything about the truth is seen, it should be to teach you really how to discern truth, not how to go down every nonsense rabbit hole and believe in any silly thing someone tells you just because they have a catchy punchline or something. So Bashar showed he had absolutely no understanding of the Mandela effect. And not only did he have no understanding, his description didn't make sense. If you actually go and listen, the link is going to be in the description box. You can click on the bit. They've actually put a title, The Mandela Effect. Just listen to what he's saying. It's very clever wordage. He uses buzzwords. He makes it almost sound like, you know, like when you watch a movie and you just have to put all belief to the side and go along with the story. It almost sounds kind of like he knows what he's talking about. But when you really listen to it, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Whether I decide to suddenly change something now, like have a cup of my drink of my tea, has no effect on our group memories from the past. Zero effect. Zero effect. Whether I decide to drink with my left hand for a change, look. Zero effect. Whether tomorrow I decide to become a psychopath or I decide to go and join a monastery, it's going to have zero effect on the past. It's not going to change. What I'm doing now is not going to change the past, and especially not the group collective past that people remember on a global level. I cannot here change the script of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from mirror, mirror on the wall to magic mirror on the wall. There's absolutely no way. So as soon as you can catch someone out on their bullshit where they are literally telling you nonsense, not just nonsense, but, well, yeah, nonsense that doesn't make any sense. But what they're hoping is because they filled your mind with enough lovely positive thoughts of and things you can really apply, something that any self-help guru could tell you, that I tell you on this channel about how to be a wizard. I'm not channeling an alien. I can tell you how your thoughts create reality and how you need to be careful what you think, focus on good things, follow your happy feelings, and they're going to lead you, you know, follow your passion. It's going to lead you to your purpose in life. I can tell you all that stuff. I don't need to channel an alien to tell me that. He's not telling you anything new. He's just dressing it up in a fancy show and then selling it to gullible public, Joe Public, who are desperate to fill some gap with something to help them make it through the day, but then giving them bad information. So it's really our responsibility to say no to these people because they absolutely swamp the truther scene and the truther market. It should be called the liar bullshit market or the liar scene. There's so much nonsense. It's this whole swamp of its own, like I told you with Corey Good. And now what does he say? Corey Good says, oh, it's for entertainment purposes only. Well, remember, that's what Daryl Ank is. Entertainment purposes only, actor. He's not channeling anything. And anyone who says he is talking nonsense. And this even makes me fully doubt the Farsight Institute and remote viewing. Now, I don't really know what goes on with remote viewing, but they reckon they remote viewed Bashar and he was this really intelligent ascended alien. And it's funny how 3 people can all see this nonsense. And what I noticed as well with the remote viewing is with the Farsight Institute is that the remote viewers always see what Courtney Brown expected them to see. It must be amazing to be right every single time, to be right about absolutely everything. I mean, wow, I would love to be that right. I would love to be so right that every little opinion I had could be totally proven true with everything I did, because that's never happened to me. So I'm even now very dubious of remote viewing. I don't really know how remote viewing works, but I would take also anything remote viewers tell you with a pinch of salt, because you'll also find that all different groups of remote viewers will all see different things and have a different take. You could have 6 different groups remote viewing the moon, which is a hot topic at the moment with Cliff High, and they all come back with some other story. So I take it all with a pinch of salt. And I certainly don't believe anything Cliff High is even saying about the moon right now, about the ripple on the moon. You can go and look that up, that these things are caused by things in the atmosphere, atmospheric, you know, like when you see water in the heat on the pavement and it shimmers, you know, there's many things that create waves through atmosphere. You've got the elements, you've got liquids, you've got gases. There's many things, and I certainly don't even subscribe to what Cliff High is saying about the moon. There's a lot of stuff out there I really am not subscribing to right now. A lot of bullshit, a lot of nonsense. And, you know, some people are genuinely nice people that just tell you stuff because they genuinely believe it themselves. And yeah, I have to believe it myself. I'm not going to take anything anyone says just take it, because I respected them and they told me one thing that was maybe right, and then this other thing that I'm like, no way. So, my dears, yeah, I just really wanted to sound off about that, because it just annoys the hell out of me, because that guy Daryl Ank is making a lot of money. You notice that he doesn't do it for free. No, it's a paid job. It's a show. Remember, it's a show. You buy a ticket, you sit in the audience. He does a show. He could be in Las Vegas. He's a showman doing a show. If you enjoy the show, as long as you know it's fully entertainment, and you should take everything that dude says with a pinch of salt and just take it as a nice bit of entertainment, but with not based in any reality, and to understand he's an actor, go for it. If that's what floats your boat and you want to have a good hour show and give him your money, go for it. It's like any other show, you know, maybe you'll enjoy it. But he's not channeling anything. He's just channeling himself and his own BS, just so you know. Anyway, he's proven it. It wasn't even like, even if you don't understand the core matrix and everything, if you've never seen Starfire work, that's intensively and extensively gone into proving everything about the Mandela effect, time shift effect. If you haven't even seen that, if you just were to listen to what he says in that moment, in that show, without any other knowledge, you will see it doesn't make sense. What he's saying is nonsensical. So if you're not thinking for yourself, though, in Hollywood, in story writing, you can get people to just let go of belief and just go along with a story. That's part of storytelling, where you just let go of facts just to go along with the story. You know, you're going to be, okay, I'll let that bit fly because it's part of the story. I'm just, okay, he can levitate. I'll just accept that. You know, in storytelling, there's this thing in movies where there's certain artistic license where the mind will just accept something, even though maybe it's a bit... just to go along with the story, because they're invested in going along with the story. That's Bashar for you. So don't give him any of your money unless you know it's a show. That's my recommendation. So I'm putting my tea down, had my little sound off. Yes, con man, grifter extreme, and a very rich grifter, no doubt. So, my darlings, I love you and I leave you, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Pursuit of Happiness. One love.